Hi, Cancer. It's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology, and welcome in. This reading is going to be for Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And Cancer, this reading is for the Taurus New Moon, which happens on May 16th, and that is at 8 o'clock Universal Time and 1:01 p.m. or 8:01 Universal Time, 1:01 p.m. here in California. So please check for your own time around the world. All right, so Cancer, what is the new moon associated with? All right, it is about food and nature, money and possessions. The main is the financial stability that we want to create for ourselves, right? It's also about sensuality. It is about perseverance and determination and our values, what is important to us, okay, or what we value. So, Taurus, since it is associated with stability and often financial, that is what the theme will really be about, all right? So, we have the new moon in Taurus, and that is happening in your 11th house of future aspirations. And here it is. If you'd like to see the screen, I have the screen up today. And here's the new moon. It's empty. We can never see the new moon. And with every new moon, it's a hopeful time to plant seeds, to new goals, transitioning into something new. And that's what it's about, right? So we always have the sun supporting the new moon, right? We have the masculine with the feminine together. And that is how we really create something new, right? We can't just use the masculine. So yeah, that's really what that's about. So Mercury is here, and this is the planet of thinking. This is your brains, basically, right? And so this 11th house is future aspirations. It's friends, it's social groups, like-minded people. It's also about hopes and wishes and gains. And those gains are usually from the former or the prior house, which is the 10th house of career and status. So what we have right now is you're planting seeds for the future. That's very clear, right? Mercury is having you analyze the situation. It sure is. Yeah, and so, mhm. Yeah, exactly right. So let's talk about Venus first, though, because Venus is the ruler of the new moon, and Venus is in your 12th house of endings. So interesting about Venus because Venus also rules love because it rules Libra, right? Down here in your fourth house of emotional foundation. So, which makes a lot of sense for a Cancerian, it sure does. But for you guys, Venus in your 12th house, you're looking at relationships or things that provide stability for you in a whole new way. You're like, oh, that didn't, I'm glad I'm done with that. And this can be maybe you are leaving behind a certain way, certain themes regarding money, maybe the way to, you earn it. And interestingly enough, the 12th house is not very concerned with financial. It is more concerned with the ethereal and the universe and things like that. But this Venus here is in Gemini in the sign of the mind, so maybe that is but you definitely are thinking about these themes because Venus is in Mercury ruled Gemini, and Mercury is in Venus ruled Taurus. So they're in each other's homes. They're like, hey, you stay at my place and get used to it, and I'll stay at your place, or just, and then we'll figure out if we want to move in together, right? It can be like that. But that's what's going on here. They're kind of supporting one another. So, and so on the 18th, Venus will move into your sign. Yeah, and so supporting you. And yeah, supporting your relationships and your well-being, your emotional security, your emotional foundation, if you will. And the sun, moon, Venus, and Uranus are all speaking to you regarding new ventures, perhaps new social connections, or even like-minded groups, new friends. Maybe those are important to you, new friends or new groups of people. And the sun and the moon make a sextile to Jupiter in your first house of self. Let's look at that. So here we have the sun and the moon, and they are at 25 degrees. And where is Jupiter? Right down here. And the sextile, this is at 21 degrees. So this is a good sextile. It is. And and here it is. We can see it. It's very light here. Jupiter is making that green little line here. And the sextile is a social aspect. We have to engage in it because it can create an opportunity for us, but not if we just, kind of sit around on the couch and say, hey, everything will be fine, right? But Jupiter's in your first house supporting you, supporting everything up for you, supporting your sense of self, supporting, anything that is very important to you. Could be your health, could be, it doesn't matter. It's there to support you. Now, Jupiter is growth and expansion. It's also associated with our philosophy and our higher path, and, what is dynamic for us as well. So we have that with the sun and the moon in your house of future aspirations, making that sextile to Jupiter. And so this is you kind of having new opportunities. Jupiter can represent opportunities as well. And so this is you, like creating new opportunities for yourself. Um, Definitely. And you're seeing that you need something new, definitely with this new moon, right? Because Mercury is ruling where Mercury sits here with the sun and the moon supporting the new moon. Mercury's in this house of end. Mercury rules the house of endings. So you're letting things go, and you're like, I'm just thinking about the future. I don't care too much about the past. That's right. Um, And the new moon is bringing you wisdom from past experiences, Cancer. It is, and supporting your higher purpose. And so the sun and the moon are both making a favorable trine. So the trine is 120 degree. It is very a favor, auspicious, aspect here. Here's the trine from Jupiter to the DC, the descendant in Capricorn, to your house of, where's Capricorn at? Right here, to your house of business partners. Let's look at that here. Um, let's go back to the sun and the moon. I'm not seeing that. Is that right? It's not showing up. This to the descendant. No, oh, to the DC. Let's look. The DC is in, here it is right here, the square here. All right. We talked about the trine, but this is no, this is a square. But we see the square to the DC, and it's not in Capricorn, but it is in Saturn ruled Aquarius, which is the same ruler for Capricorn. It's probably why I wrote that. But that square is in your ninth house of purpose, to your ninth house of purpose. And so this is saying, make an adjustment, move away from things that are not meaningful to you, right? And things that no longer matter to you, really. hmm And so we also have, lastly, we have Venus making a sextile to Chiron in your house of social roles. Let's look at that. So here is Venus in Gemini making this sextile here. Remember, sextile can be an opportunity if we engage. But it is definitely a supportive and a favorable aspect. It is aspecting Mars and Chiron. So Chiron is there as some type of a wound or something that needs to be overcome regarding either your career or how you kind of maintain or establish authority over your own life, right? This is the 10th house is how we manage our own life. It's about, bosses and things like that, but it is about our own authority over our own life. It's also about social roles and how we show ourselves to the world, our status, our social roles, our reputation. And so we have Venus making that, that sextile to Mars. Mars wants to take action here. Mars is the will to act. And Chiron is there. They're in a perfect conjunction. So you're getting over something that was related to maybe how you were showing yourself to the world. This has to do with self-mastery. It does. And so that's a really beautiful thing. And while you are letting things go, because Venus is in your 12th house of endings, it's really a great thing there for you, Cancer. It is. Let's see if I have anything else here in these notes. Venus also is making a square. And one more thing, Cancer, you're able to see yourself more powerful because Mars is sitting in its own house, in its own sign rather, And when it sits in its own sign, it's very powerful. And also, this is, Aries is about yourself, but it is about courage. It is about determination. So you're seeing yourself more powerful here, as Venus makes that sextile to Chiron and Mars, right? Now we have the square, though. Here's Venus making the red square here, right? And so, but that's to Neptune and Vesta. Vesta wants us to have harmony and balance. And it can be associated with what we want to quietly devote ourselves to, right? So the inner harmony, or the harmony that we have in our life, is very important, the harmony and the balance. And it is here. Venus is squaring it. It almost looks like you're moving away from relationships. Venus is associated with love. You're just leaving those behind that didn't, or even work maybe. Venus has to do with, making money. It does, and our financial stability. But, this can be like, you're moving away from things that don't support your well-being, really. That's what you're doing with the new moon. And Neptune is there too. So this can be also telling you to make an adjustment and follow your dreams, follow your visions and what you want, right? Neptune is very dreamy, and it is very hopeful. But, with the square there is, don't fall into doubts and fears. Just don't do that, because Neptune, the same way it is about our dreams and illusions and daydreaming, and it's fantasy, it's creativity. We can create these fears as well. And we don't want to do that, right? Because no, not with the astrology showing us all these good things, all right, for that are related to wisdom and self-mastery. So thanks so much, Cancer, for joining me here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell, and you'll be notified of my next upload. And also, if you'd like a reading with me, check out the description box. I'm a psychic. I've done many, many psychic readings over on my other tarot channel. Everything is in the description box. If you want an astrology reading with me, a past life reading, all kinds of great readings that really enable us to move into our higher selves and bring us wisdom and support our empowerment. All right. Thanks so much, Cancer, for joining me here.